Hey everybody, welcome to ChillerNight Live, where from 8 p.m. Eastern Time until 9 o'clock we'll talk about all things horror, science fiction, and the paranormal. So welcome. I am Bryan Hogue, your host for this evening. And if you're new to this channel, if you're on YouTube watching, like and subscribe to this channel. I'd appreciate it. And if you're on Facebook, then like any one of the channels that this is actually playing on. ChillerNight Escape Experience, or ChillerNight, Jack Shadow's House of Terror, and ChillerNight Theater. So, Stephanie says, hey y'all. Hey Stephanie, thanks for joining us. Pat Van says, hi all. I hope to be on here for a while. Hey Patty, thanks for joining us. I don't know if you watched, but I gave a thank you for your very generous gift there last week. So I appreciate that. That was very nice of you. A very nice gift. So I mentioned that last week, but I don't think you were on here at the time. But we're glad to see you here. Raymond says, Brian. Hey, Raymond, thanks for joining us. Al says, hi, everyone. Hey, Al, thanks for joining us. Jason says, good evening, my fellow ghosts. And to our ghoulish leader, I love the intro music theme. Glad you like it, and welcome, Jason. Patty says, Brian, black tea. Like it? I wear these quite a bit. Sometime in between my superheroes, my Star Wars, and my horror. So, yes, I have a bunch of these. Jason says, nice t-shirt. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate that. And speaking of birthdays, I mentioned how Patty sent me that for my birthday. Last week I was talking about that. We have a birthday coming up here of a viewer. Jason being on here reminded me of that. So coming up this week on the 28th, it'll be Jason's birthday. So happy early birthday, Jason, because we won't be here. We won't be here on the 28th to help you celebrate it. But I wanted to mention that we have a couple others for this coming week as well. Adam Seaman, who occasionally is on here, every once in a while he shows up here. His is also on the 28th. And then later on, we'll probably hear from Brad Beckwith. We'll have some exciting news, but not near as exciting as Public Domain January 2027. Okay, Brad's birthday is the 29th coming up. So, anybody else? Anybody else? Are we missing anybody else's? Lots of birthdays in August. Mine was just a little bit ago. Patty says, oh, Jason says, thank you, Brian, for remembering. Thank you very much. You're very welcome. Very welcome. There's some, what's it? SBC says, great. I was afraid it would not work today. Halloween is not so far away. It is coming up so quick, so quick. Happy birthday, Brad. Jason says, SBC, happy birthday. So you're getting some happy birthdays. You're getting some early happy birthdays there, Jason. So Stephanie says, happy birthday, Brad and Brian. Oh, thank you. Yeah, mine was the 7th. Mine was the 7th. It was the 7th and my 57th trip around the sun. So hanging in there pretty well. PBR is giving me the wave. I'll wave right back to you. So thanks for joining us, PBR, and all of you. And here's John. I'm sorry. But first of all, we'll start out here from Crow's Ectogram. The following program is not available on public broadcasting and now recorded live. It's time for ChillerNight Live. This is Crow's Ectogram, and now here he is, our host and star of the show. Here's Bryan Hogue. Oh, thank you, Crow's Ectogram. John's given the 100 I almost said 100 finger point, but there's only one finger, but 100 over it. Stan says, good evening, happy birthday all. Good evening, Stan. Thanks for joining us. Yes, we were just mentioning some of our viewers' birthdays coming up this week. So Brian says, hello all. Hey, Brian, thanks for joining us. D says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, D. Thanks for joining us. Yes. ChillerNight Theater. The reason we're all here. It's what started this whole crazy chiller maniac show of this. Every Saturday night, beginning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on Stream TV, you can see ChillerNight Theater. Jack Shadow will host 4 episodes, 4 movies, back to back, every Saturday night on ChillerNight Theater. So if you haven't seen them all, or if you want to see them again, that's fine. Check it out, or tell your friends and family. Rush out, knock on your neighbor's door, pound on them, and let them know about this. This is just too good to keep to yourselves. So, and yes, hopefully we'll have some new episodes coming up in time for the fall or Halloween season. So, see how that goes. I think I'm not busy enough. But we will see. And SBC, I very much appreciate his input into this. That's kind of keeping it on the down low for a little bit, because I'm still, can I commit to that 100% before Halloween? Not 100%, but I'm trying. I'm going to try to make sure that we have brand new episodes somewhere in September, October. We will see. Patty says, just to let you know, I always give this chat group a second view, especially if I miss it. Ah, very cool, very cool. Thank you, Patty. Kevin says, good evening. Good evening, Kevin. Thanks for joining us. Stephanie says, has anybody seen the trailer of the upcoming horror movie called Good Boy? Oh, that looks familiar. I think I did. But I don't remember anything about it. I don't remember anything about it. I'm still looking to see Weapons. Have any of you seen Weapons? No spoilers, but if you have, I just remember that one. Do I still have the... oh, yeah. Here we go. That movie there. I have not seen that yet, but Ava and I want to. The trailer for that looked very, very eerie. So I'd like to see that one. So we'll see how that goes. But I've not seen... something tells me I have seen that one, though, Stephanie. The trailer. D says, I have been having a hard time viewing Stream TV. I'll be super bummed if I cannot stream it when the new shows are aired. You and me both. You and me both. I'll see if there's been any issues. I'm normally at the store when that's actually coming on. So, SPC says, time to talk about Manos. Is it? The best of the worst, or the worst of the best horror movies. Okay, take it away, SPC. Jason says, Wolf Manos now on Prime. Oh, really? Ava and I rented that one shortly after it came out, or when it first became available to rent. I gave my opinion when I saw the Wolf Man, the creature, when they were first, starting to promote the film, and I wasn't impressed with the look of it, of the Wolf Man. But I wasn't at all disappointed in the movie. I thought the movie was very entertaining. That thing was nothing short of savage. I think you'll enjoy it. We enjoyed it, Ava and I. We thought it was really well done. So I'm glad I didn't let my first impression of that movie deter me from actually watching it. SBC says, "Where's Bonehead?" I don't know. I haven't seen him on here. I don't see him on Facebook. I see Brian. I see John. I see Kevin on Facebook, but I don't see Bonehead. He'll show up probably. Patty says Jaws is supposed to be in theaters August 28th, 29th, and 30th. It's rated PG. Is that right? Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's pretty neat. Jason says Wolfman is better than the monkey. Oh, little winky emoji there. Yes, yes, it is. I can safely say without a moment's hesitation that Wolfman is much better than the monkey. And this is Wolfman, folks. Wolfman, not the Wolfman, but just Wolfman. Put out by Universal. I believe it was a Universal movie. But I think you're going to like it. I don't know. I thought it was very good. A different take on it all. I mean, it's not how we would think of the Wolfman, the classic Wolfman, but it's still, nonetheless, it was a really good movie. Jason, what year was Wolfman released? D says, OMG, I saw Manos, The Hands of Fate this past weekend. An inquired taste. Hey, there's Bonehead. There with an eye, the all-seeing eye of Bonehead. He's watching us. Well, welcome. Patty says, I do want to see Weapons. It's supposed to be mostly POV. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It just seems so cool, though. And I've heard good things about it, and I don't want to read too much. But, all right. But, hey, folks, right now, I am going to unveil the official poster for Jack Shadow's House of Terror for 2025. Boom. All right, so there it is. Now, you've seen, like, the banner and stuff. With similar artwork, of course, but this actually is the official poster. The actual poster has the dates, times, prices, and all that stuff. And then, of course, if you go online, you can actually or if you see it on Facebook or wherever, maybe even on here. I don't know if the image is big enough though. It has a QR code to scan to buy tickets online. So, but that is coming up really, really quick. I wish I had an extra month. But that's okay. That's okay. Gonna get it done. But fine work once again by graphic artist Rick Whitlow. He's been doing work for me, for the haunted houses, for ChillerNight, the store, the ChillerNight Theater, Dark Horse Championship Wrestling, and just anything basically I need a logo or artwork for. Rick is always there to help out, so always appreciate Rick. I don't hesitate when hiring him whatsoever. He's always does excellent work. SBC, I bought a great animatronic Pumpkinhead bust today for only 13 euros, about $10 or $12. Well, that's a pretty good deal, I'd say. Brian says, did the show start over? Oh, not that I'm aware of. We're 15 minutes into it. Of course, I'm seeing the live view. Boy, is there that much of a delay? It says 11 minutes and 53 seconds into it. So, oh, that's right. We started. I started about probably a minute earlier. So there's probably about more of a minute delay there. Al says, I like the poster, Brian. Thank you, Al. Thank you. I appreciate that. Bonus says, Stephanie, DD, Pennsylvania, SBC, Raymond, Al, Jason, Stan, and the whole ChillerNight crew. God bless yous, one and all. Yes, and you as well, Bonehead. You as well. So we are glad that you're here. Now tonight we have a topic. We have a topic, and I don't know if you remember from last week. The topic is World War II horror movies. I look at that as that can either be the World War II era or World War II themed movies, probably more so the themed movies, but we'll leave a little wiggle room there, okay? As if obviously the real World War II was horrific enough as it is, we don't need to add horror. But for those of us, let's take it over into the make believe, playful fantasy world, and which is what this hour is all about, anyways. Get away from all the real life stuff going on, and that's the theme for tonight. As always, I had very little time, well, actually, hardly any at all to prepare for this. So, what I did was, I'm going to be using the top 10 World War II horror films from letterboxd.com. letterboxd.com. So when we get to that, I'll read down their list, not mine, and we'll see if that, see how it holds up with all of you. And of course, I'm sure you'll be adding your movies as well. All right, Jason says, Frankenstein's army is simply fantastic. It's a Nazi mad scientist forging machines and humans together. Strong recommendation for that movie. Frankenstein's Army. That's on this list. You'll see that too. That's okay. So there's a. I already know that one's going to be on the list. So that's a good review there from Jason. Bonus says the lovely ladies of the chat room get the top spots tonight. D number 1, Patty number 2, and Stephanie comes in at 3, according to the count. All right, so that's cool. Again, you can see that. I can't for whatever reason. But that's neat. Let's see. SBC. Oh, D. So, are you hooked on Manos now? LOL. And then she responds, not quite yet. I need a few more viewings under my belt. Popcorn, yellow, striped font. A few more viewings under you. Probably a few drinks to go with that as well. Maybe not. No. To each his own. SBC says, Attack of the Crab Monsters, 1957. I don't know. I mean, was that a World War II era movie? Somebody mentioned Godzilla last week, which that would fit, huh? The Godzilla originated during the atomic bomb testing or World War II. I forget the exact. Oh, shockwaves. Jason said shockwaves. Do they have shockwaves on theirs? Nope, that's not on this list. So that's one that's a new one. The Keep is great as well. Good cast too. The Keep is actually on here. I think that's their number 10. Yep. Brad says, sorry I wasn't around last week. I was at the Erie Seawolves baseball game. It had a rain delay. It continued and the Seawolves won the game. Now that's awesome. There's the segue, but not as awesome as the 1931 horror films Dracula and Frankenstein coming to the public domain in January 2027. Yes. Well, thank you, Brad. Thanks for joining us. And we'll go back to at the beginning of the show. I was mentioning birthdays, and I see that yours is coming up on the 29th. Jason's is on the 28th, and Adam Seaman, who occasionally comes on here, messages me every once in a while. So, Adam, if you're seeing this, wanted to just throw up a early happy birthday to you as well. So happy early birthday, Brad, and to those others as well. Hope you have a good one, and hope whatever you do, wherever you go, it doesn't get rained out like the Seawolves game. Well, it didn't get rained out; it got delayed, so that's not bad. But it was worth it, worth the wait. Does anyone else see the rankings of the live chat? Yeah, that's a good question. I certainly can't. Brian says Wizards 1977. Wonder if that's on here. I do not see Wizards on this list. Okay. Interesting. Bunny, did you lose track of time? Raymond says. Overlord. Stephanie says 2018. It involves zombie and has Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn's son in it. Ah, all right. Overlord. Let me see. Ah, it is on here. It is on here. All right. I won't even have to read the list. Godzilla was originally released in 1954, Raymond says. Yeah. But it was to take place in, I think it took place at the end of, well, wasn't the end of World War II with the dropping of the bombs? Or at least testing. I'm trying to remember the actual origin of Godzilla, but it had something to do with that, I think. John says, there was one movie that is on my list, The Frozen Dead. Oh, let me see. Nope, that one's not on this list. Okay. Evil scientist is planning to revive top leaders from a frozen alive state with the help of an unsuspecting doctor and a severed head. All right. Sounds like a good plot. Kind that we chiller maniacs would like. SBC says, I will not mention the Elsa's movie. Sorry, now I have LOL. The Elsa's movies? I'm not familiar with those. I don't think I am. Bonus says, Raymond, I'm lucky if I can remember my name most days. But no, I was here. I was just being quiet. Okay, giving people a break from my stupidity and annoying traits. No, you jump right in there. Head first. I guess you have to. Skull first. Facebook feed is still not working, John says. What? PBR says, how about Bunker of the Dead in 3D? Bunker of the Dead. Nope. I got a similar title, but not that one. I'll get on this list here pretty quick, but let's see. We lost the Facebook feed, Brian says. What? Really? Oh, that is no good at all. That's not cool. Brad says, are you doing the ChillerNight Tuesday night movie? You said Tuesday, September 9th, if I could remember correctly. I kind of last week put a big question mark on that. I don't know. I'd like to, but I know September. I can say on September 9th. No, I won't be able to do that. I just won't. I just won't. I'm going to be working diligently and frantically throughout all of September. So, but I am going to try to have you at least full episodes of ChillerNight Theater. If I don't get those by September, I at least will start them. I at least, my plan is if I can't start them in September, wouldn't it be nice if I could start them on October 4th? Saturday, October 4th. That's the first Saturday in October. That would be, I'd be okay with that. I might have to be okay with that, whether I wanted it that way or not. But Jason says, Castle Wolfenstein was a great video game. It featured mad scientists doing experiments, merging man and machine. I love that game, that genre. Okay. Cool. But it says, Brian, they lost the Facebook feed. Wonder why. Let me see something. Unable to connect. I'm going to try something. Now, it's on ChillerNight Escape Experience on Facebook. It's on ChillerNight Theater on Facebook. But we did lose it, I'm seeing, on mine and on Jack Shadow's House of Terror. I wonder if I hit something here, if that will do something. Hopefully I'm not going to disconnect. I wonder why. I'm able to connect. Huh. I don't know why, folks. I wish I did. I don't know. It is, if you're on Facebook, though, well, if you're on Jack Shadow's House of Terror and Bryan Hogue's, it's not on there, but it is on ChillerNight, and it is on ChillerNight Theaters. Always something, isn't it, on here for some reason. All right, let me get back up here. Let me get up ahead here. Let me jump ahead here because I'm really far behind in the comments. And if I'm passing up a comment of yours, I'm sorry, but I wanted to check in on that, and in doing that, it just, let's see. Okay, so let me get to this list over here. Again, this is letterboxd.com. Their top 10 World War II horror films. Number 10, The Keep, 1983. I believe that was mentioned. It was mentioned a little earlier. And that was directed by Michael Mann. Has Scott Glenn, Alberta Watson. I don't know who that is, but I know Scott Glenn. Number 9, The Devil's Rock from 2011. Let's see. Craig Hall and Matthew Sunderland, Gina Varela. I'm not sure who these people are. I might know them to see them. Okay. Number 8, Frankenstein's Army, 2013. That was mentioned. Russian soldiers pushing into the eastern Germany, stumble across a secret Nazi lab. Well, you can just imagine from there where it goes. Carol Roden, Joshua Sasse, I don't know how to pronounce those names necessarily, but Zombie Lake, 1981. Now that's an older movie for sure, 1981. Howard Vernon, Pierre-Marie Escarral, in a small village somewhere in France, German soldiers killed and thrown into the lake by the resistance during World War II. Come back. All right, now I will pull up the chat again, see where I'm at here. Raymond, John says, honorable mention goes to World War I classic, 1938, Accused. A French movie made about a scientist who tries to stop another world war by opening the dimensional, bringing the war dead to stop another war. Okay. Wow, that's pretty cool. Brian says, I see numbers. Oh, you do see the numbers. Okay. So Bonin says, Raymond, you're seeing the numbers too. And Brian's seeing them. And Raymond, okay. Man in the High Tower, Patty says. That's not on this list, so that's another one. Let's see. Raymond says, oh, these movies were not released during World War II. No, they don't have to be released during World War II. They just have to be taking place in that era or directly about World War II, taking place during that war. Jason Bates, The Keep also had Gabriel Byrne, Robert Prosky, and Ian McClellan too. Fine actors. Oh, and let me see again what year that was. That was 1983. 1983. All right, that's an older one for sure. All right. What the heck? All right. SPC says Bear Island, 1979. Not a horror movie, but a great one. Brian says 1968. They saved Hitler's brain. If that one's on here. Not on this list here. They saved Hitler's brain. 1968. Fine year. Brad says, you mean an all new episode of ChillerNight on Saturday, October on the 4th? Yes, that's what I'm hoping for. In fact, I'm hoping for brand new episodes every Saturday night in October. I wanted them to start in September. I can tell you right now, I can't say for sure that won't happen, but it probably won't. I don't know. I'm trying. I'm going to try. So, Jason says the face melting scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark was horrific and taking place during World War II. All right, we'll give that definitely an honorary mention because not only the face melting was certainly looked like belonged in a horror film, but also when they opened the Ark and the angel starts to fly around and all the Nazi soldiers are looking up. And then it turns into the death spirit. Oh, boy. Oh, that was really... You're just sitting there and you get that cold chill up your back when you're sitting in the theater watching that. I remember that was one of the first... I don't think it was the very first, but it was one of the probably within the top 3 movies that I saw at the Cranberry Mall when they opened up the cinema. It was the first time I was in a cinema theater, like a mall cinema. Never been to one before. I was always seeing movies at like the drive-in or the Drake Theater, the old Drake Theater. A big, huge, old-fashioned theater. I've seen all these movies. They're all really good, Bonehead says. Man Behind the Sun. Better don't watch. Not with your eyes directly on it. SBC says. Well, I said that last part, but okay. As Patty says, I think the fly-eating scene cinema Raiders was the worst. The fly-eating scene cinema Raiders. Fly-eating scene. I don't remember a fly-eating scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark. I just remember a scene where Belloc was standing there when Indy was going to shoot was bluffing. He was threatening to shoot the Ark of the Covenant with a bazooka. He's up on the hill in the desert on the island. And there was a fly that landed like right on the actor's mouth as he was talking. Don't know if that's kind of obscure. I don't know if that's what it probably isn't, but I only remember that because I've seen that movie like a million times. That was my favorite, and I believe the absolute best of all the Indiana Jones movies. But thank yous all the ChillerNight crew because yins give me lots. Yins give names a lot of good movies to watch. Yeah. Not cinema. In Raiders was worst. Okay. It said cinema, so I think it was probably a little typo or something. Okay. Brad says, I thought showing the same public domain horror movie every Saturday night starts to get boring. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I hope to attract new viewers. Yeah, it's been what, Jack retired in October of 2022. So it's been 3 years since we've had a new one. Been 3 years. So hopefully we'll see some more. Melting Faces in Indiana Jones was great, SPC says. Yes. Raymond says, Brian, you watch movies at drive-ins. What's wrong with you? Right? Yeah, my parents took me. I was too young to not watch them. Unless I fell asleep. Patty. Patty says, yes, Bella was talking and ate a fly in that scene. Oh, yeah. that is what you were talking about. Oh, my gosh. Wow. Oh, my gosh. That's funny. SBC says, if they saved Hitler's brain in the public domain, they saved Hitler's brain? I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, it's not one that I remember seeing in the titles. SBC says, I've watched Indiana Jones so many times that was my VHS wore out. But it says, Brad, showing the same thing gets boring. Eh? Does that count for anything else that's repetitive? Getting boring, huh? Huh? Yeah. What are you getting at, Bonehead? Jason says, Scream and Scream Again has another Peter Cushing Nazi character along with Vincent Price. Ah, cool. Scream and Scream Again. Raymond says, I forgot that I am 20 years older than you. Oh. Yes. The old drive-in theater. There was a drive-in theater, actually, where our Cranberry Mall is now. Yeah. I remember that. You know, let's see. All of a sudden, Bonehead's not hungry anymore, talking about the eating a fly. Let's see. All right. Which movie did I ended on Zombie Lake. Let's go down to 10. They're not numbered. 9, 8, 7, 6. Number 6. Overlord 2018. Overlord 2018. Ah. Jovan Adepio, Wyatt Russell. Is that, somebody mentioned Kurt Russell's son. So, is that the one? Is that the one? I forget the title, but I wonder if that's the one you were talking about. I don't know if that's his son or not, but. And then number 5 is Below. It's called Below from 2002. Directed by David Tuohy. 600 feet beneath the surface, terror runs deep. Matthew Davis, Bruce Greenwood, Olivia Williams. Huh. Interesting. I've not seen that movie. And number 4, I'm just going to go to number 4. I'll finish off this. Number 4 is The Bunker from 2001. The Bunker. 1944, in the Belgian-German border, 7 German soldiers survive an American attack in the front and lock themselves in a bunker to protect the position. Under siege by the enemy and with little ammunition, they decide to explore underground tunnels to seek supplies and find an escape route. While in the tunnel, weird things happen with the group. That sounds pretty cool. Number 3, War of the Dead from 2011. Is this about zombies? They don't come right out and say it. But the poster has a zombie Nazi soldier on it. That's all the hints we're given. All right. And number 2, Post 3, Rise of the Spetsnaz. 2013. Is this a movie? Looks like a video game like cover for it, but it's a movie. All right. Another one about, apparently about Nazi zombies. Or maybe, yeah, Nazi, supernatural Nazi soldiers. Okay. Maybe they're not quite zombies, but there's something not right about them. And then, number 1, Dead Snow. Oh, this says Dead Snow 2, Red versus Dead. The gruesome Nazi zombies are back to finish their mission, but our hero is not willing to die. He is gathering his own army to give them a final fight. All right. None of these names look familiar to me. So, there you have it. That is the top 10 World War II horror films according to Letterboxd. So let's get back to the chat and see how you fine folks are doing. Let's see. Sorry, folks. War movies, even horror movies, are just not my forte, D says. Zune Trooper, Nazi and Aliens, SBC says. I didn't see that one. Never seen that one. Stephanie says, even if I've seen movies over and over, I never get bored. You'll be okay, just eat some Soylent Green, Patty says. Sorry, Brian, I'm sticking up for your honor and being my sarcastic skull self as usual. Yes. Yeah, and then Brad, right after, oh, I know that Brian has got a list of horror, sci-fi, public domain movies with him. Heck yeah, I do. He could show every week for 2 years until Dracula and Frankenstein coming to the public domain in January of 2027. That's very possible. You know, what I could do is after this run of new ChillerNight theater episodes, I could probably bring Jack back, perhaps, like around October. Maybe an October run, like a limited run. And then I could host I could host the rest. And I don't know. I don't know exactly what that setup is going to look like. I haven't got that far with it yet. Making this up as I go. But we will. Well, I mean, the intent is there, absolutely, to have more episodes. Stephanie says, I did. His name is Wyatt Russell, and his latest movie out now is in Thunderbolts. Oh, yeah, he plays U.S. Agent. I do remember him in the Marvel shows, yeah. Let's see. What movie has Nazis on the moon, Patty says. I don't know. I'm sorry, as a bad boy, Bonin says. SBC says, what's the name of the one where they discovered this dinosaur island with the German submarine? I think it was with Charlton Heston. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. Interesting. PBR said, thanks for bringing it up. Scream and Scream again. I am currently watching all the movies Cushing and Lee were in together and didn't know this one. Oh, that's cool. That is a very good reason to watch this show. Just because of that very reason. I hear of movies I've never heard of. Or I'm reminded of movies that I saw maybe when I was little. There's a lot of those get brought up. So that's why it's neat to it's really cool to participate, join in, and chat. But it's neat to also, you know, if you're watching this at a later time, cool, because a lot of good movies and shows are mentioned. Jason says, Werewolves of the Third Reich. I've not seen that one. Jason says, Soldiers of the Damned. Okay, there's some other titles. Brad says, some of those public domain horror movies he didn't even show yet. Oh, a lot of them. You're right. Patty Bonin says, I saw that movie you're talking about, Something Sky, but it did have Nazis in space. A black guy played the lead, but I can't remember the name of the movie. I don't. Iron Sky. That's it. Thanks, Patty says. There you go. Let's see. PBR. Isn't there a movie, German Experiments and Werewolves? I don't know, but there was. I was almost gonna say a Creep Show, season 2, or maybe it was a season 1. It had something similar to that. I don't know if it took place in World War II, but something tells me it did. But there was werewolves in it. I don't know if that was what you're asking about specifically, but Jason says, Iron Sky has Nazis on the moon. The Time Forgot, or Land Before Time with Doug McClure, Ronan says. Stephanie says, by the way, I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974. What'd you think? Did you like it? Bonus says, yes, PBR. Dominique Swain is in that one. SBC says, greetings to our Mr. Manos when you watch later. Yeah, that's right, Paul, if you're watching this later. Or any of you that watch this later, thank you for watching it. Well, no matter when you watch it. George, I know you watch it the next day. Paul, hopefully you're catching up on it and watching this a little later time. Maybe Tom. Tom's not here with us tonight. Maybe he'll check it out. Maybe he won't. But who knows? Renee, I think we lost Renee. Maybe she found a UFO. You know, that was really her forte. That was you know, maybe she found a UFO group that meets on this time of the week. Who knows? But we kind of miss. Well, we do. We miss Renee. She's been with us for a couple years, several years. So let's see. Stephanie says, yeah, Creepshow TV show, 1 episode, World War II werewolves. I saw it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I wasn't imagining that one. All right. Jason says, I love the story in Heavy Metal with the U.S. bomber plane that crashed and zombies were on the island. You know, I saw several lists, Jason, that had, when they were talking about World War II horror movies, they had Heavy Metal on those lists. So that reminded me of it when you mentioned it. D says, TCM, a classic. I really enjoyed TCM 2. Did you? I know the guy who played Leatherface in Part 3. He lives not that far from here. In fact, Stream TV was trying, back when I was doing Chiller Chat, was going to try to see about getting him on the show and talking about that, being on that movie. Trying to think of his. I can't believe it. I'm drawing a blank, but I know he lives around here. It's a different name. It's a kind of a unique name, but. Stephanie says, I did, but I'm not going to do that. Watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre again. I got to look this up now because it's like, that's one of those names that cast of Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3. Cast of Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3. That's it. R.A. Mahaloff. That's why I couldn't think of it. I was trying to think of a name. I could kind of see the last name, but the R.A. That's what threw me off. Okay, R.A. Mahaloff. Cool. Let's see. Patty says werewolves was the last battalion Hitler set up to bring about the Fourth Reich after the war, composed of mainly kids. True fact. Huh. Bonus says, ChillerNight crew, please say hello to Miss Glamfangs, Paul and Tom Paisley. They're not here, but they're in our hearts and thoughts. Yes. Yes, absolutely. I wonder if Glam, maybe Glam watches this later too. I think I heard that she occasionally does. So, Glam, if you are watching this later, hello, and we miss you. And I know we lost some folks when we stopped doing this on Saturday nights. Maybe this will. Maybe this is just the tip of the iceberg. Maybe this is just the first step out of a 1,000-mile journey. And maybe Saturday nights will turn into a live presentation of some sorts again. Who knows? I don't know. But we will see. We will see. I think if it went back to a Saturday night thing, I think that I would probably have to, I'll just be honest with you, I'd probably have to see some compensation in some way to make that worth my while, because I do enjoy my Saturday nights when I get home from the store, you know, but I'm not ruling it out. I'm saying if that can be kind of intertwined with the business somehow to turn that into a production of sorts, I would not be opposed to that. D says Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is more comical but still disturbing. A good blend. Yeah, that interview would be awesome. Yeah, I remember because he was at Stream TV doing their morning show, the Morning Drill, because it takes place in it's housed in Titusville, Pennsylvania. That's where Stream TV is at. And the Morning Drill, Titusville, known for the Drake well, the oil birth of the oil industry. But he was there, and Luke had talked about possibly getting in touch with him and setting him up for the show here. But that was several years ago, back when I was still doing Chiller Chat. And you can host Chiller Night pre-shows at your Chiller store in the haunted house every Saturday night at 8 p.m. before the actual show starts. Remember Facebook Live on your phone, bro? Yeah, I do. I do indeed. Bonus is Gunnar Hansen. Yeah, there you go. There's another chain or Leatherface for sure. Facebook feed is back, but it might be delayed, John says. Okay. Appreciate that info. Jason says, any night you do this is welcome. It's a very nice escape from reality for me and enjoyable. Oh, thank you, Jason. I would love to have, it's 5 minutes. I would love to have this. Wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be cool to actually have a live production of Chiller Night Theater? And you didn't know what was, I mean, it was just going to be a different movie. Like Brad said, there's a lot. There are a lot of, you know, some are going to be better than others. Some are going to be a lot more horrible than others. But it would be a lot, you know, I would love to do that. I would love to do that. And I would love to have a Chiller Night Roku channel. I think that would be really cool. And of course it would still play on Stream TV, because I appreciate the, Stream TV and all that they've done for me and with me throughout these last years. But that would be really, really neat to have something like that, and to be able to do live shows on that channel. Before I go any further, I'm going to put this poster back out. Speaking of Stream TV, with the Haunt Jack Shadow's House of Terror, I do want to thank Stream TV and For Your Car Connection. That's another sponsor for Jack Shadow's House of Terror for this year. I want to thank both of them for their participation and their help. So, well, actually have them right here, off to the side of Boba Fett. Boba Fett. Let's see. SBC says WW2 and horror movies are like pizza with sauerkraut, or maybe not. LOL. I don't know. I don't know about that analogy. Maybe, maybe not. Interesting. Bonus says Miss Glamfangs always watches the shows whenever she gets a chance, and yes, she does miss Olian's ChillerNight crew. Oh, that's very cool. Very cool. I thought you've said that in the past. Brian, set up Cash App, and the members of the ChillerNight crew, we could maybe pay a fee for a Saturday night show once a month or every other month, maybe. That'd be cool. If I can gather, here's the plan. If there will be a brochure that's passed to everybody leaving the haunted house this year, and you know, I'll be not only promoting the ChillerNight store, and which has the witching hour and zombie outbreak escape rooms, 1 hour escape rooms. If interested, call 814-209-8214 or go to ChillerNight.com for booking information. Anyways, it will not only talk about that and the haunted house, but also Chiller Night Theater. So if I can get enough people to support that show, I would consider doing that. That's tough for me to commit to something like that right now, and without some type of what do you want to call it? Return compensation for my Saturday nights. But not saying no, not ruling it out. Bonin says, yes, you're right, Jason. Brian, we appreciate any night you choose to do this because it's a highlight of my week. That's for doggone sure. Ah, thank you. I appreciate that, guys. John says, the Facebook feed needs to be given a little update, but you have been watching ChillerNight Live. This is Crozak the Grand reminding you that when you see a Spirit Halloween store magically appear in your town, it's getting closer to Jack Shadow's month. Remember that there is now only 66 days before Halloween. Until next week, stay chilled and keep thrilled. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Crozak the Grand. It is 8:59. SPC says, good night, everyone. War is the real horror. Stay healthy and pray for peace and watch some more Manos. Okay. Dominic says, hey, Brian, would you consider doing a Patreon or channel membership to view new movies? That's, I would say anything's on the table. Dominic, I appreciate the question and the ideas there. Let's see, but it says the empty-headed skull is no filter and therefore sometimes says things truthfully that if you had a filter wouldn't be said. Well, you are welcome to say them here. Dominic says, thanks for doing this every Tuesday. Must see TV. Oh, thank you, Dominic. I appreciate that. Brad says, good chiller night, everybody. Yes. Well, thank you, everyone. D says, do you think a Discord group would work? Maybe. I'm not on Discord. I've never been on it, but I have heard of it. So I don't. That's very possible. I think I can actually restream through Discord on the package that I have. I have to perhaps look at that. But thank you, everybody, for joining me and each other for another episode of ChillerNight Live. So thank you once again. Have a good night. Have